Good morning. I'm Sue Henry, the Chief of the Calgary Emergency Management Agency. As you undoubtedly heard this morning through the Alberta Emergency Alert, we are asking for public support as we manage a critical situation in Calgary. We issued the alert to all mobile phones and broadcast systems early this morning because of an urgent need for water-saving actions in the city. Last night, we activated our municipal emergency plan and opened the Emergency Operations Centre to support a massive water main break on 16th Avenue Northwest. While the cause is still unknown, our teams are working together to investigate and repair this break, and our CEMA agency partners are working together to prioritize the most urgent needs and support safe and adequate water supply across the City of Calgary. Unfortunately, this water main break is large and complicated, and this makes an estimate on when the issue will be resolved difficult to predict. What we do know is that every drop of water will count until we get this repair done, and we need everyone in the city to pull together while we were in this critical time to help us save water. Alberta Health Services has issued a boil water advisory for the community of Bowness. This means anyone in Bowness should boil water for a minimum of 1 minute before drinking, brushing your teeth, cleaning raw foods, preparing infant formula or juices, and making ice as some examples. In all other communities, water is safe to drink without boiling. Regardless of where you live in Calgary, this outage will put pressure on all water sources across the city. For those of you waking up this morning that feel unimpacted by this outage, we need your help. Our focus is on making sure our water supply is safe and available for critical uses. We're asking you to make temporary sacrifices so that everyone has access to water for these truly critical issues. Immediately, we will be moving to stage 4 water restrictions, which will impact all outdoor water use in Calgary. This means no watering of any kind outdoors. This is not the time for anything other than critical uses while we are working to manage our water supply. Indoors, I'm asking Calgarians to delay doing laundry, using your dishwasher, or taking showers. Please conserve water and help us protect the system until the situation improves. I know this is an inconvenience, but I can't overstate the importance of this request. We have a need to urgently ensure that our water supply does not get dangerously low. It's time for us to evaluate every single drop to make sure we can continue to have access to water for health and safety. I know if we make these short-term changes and sacrifices, we will get through this challenge together. Until we do, the section of 16th Avenue remains closed, and I know that that will make travel difficult for this morning's commute. Please avoid the impacted area around 16th Avenue and Home Road Northwest. Plan some extra time around your commute as there will be traffic impacts in the area. Also, as of 6:45 this morning, Calgary Fire Chief Steve Dongworth has implemented a citywide fire ban. We need to ensure that we have no additional fire risks to the city during this time. I would like to invite Nancy Mackay, Director of Water Services, to provide more details on the repair operations and restrictions.
Thank you, Sue. Yesterday evening, our crews responded to a large water main break in the communities of Bowness and Montgomery. The break is on one of our critical pipes. It's called a feeder main, and it enables us to move water across the city. The event has had an impact on the quality of the water in Bowness, and it's seriously impacting our ability to move water around the city. It's a serious situation, and our first priority is public health. As a precautionary measure, Alberta Health Services has ordered the City of Calgary to issue a boil water advisory for the community of Bowness. All residents and businesses in Bowness are advised to bring all tap water to a rolling boil for a full minute prior to any consumption of that water. This includes drinking, brushing teeth, cleaning raw foods, preparing infant formula or juices, making ice, etc. Certainly, water used for bathing or laundering or clothes does not need to be boiled, but for hand washing, wash with soap and water or used alcohol-based hand sanitizers for the good full 60 seconds after drying your hands. The advisory will remain in effect until further notice, until the safety of the water in the Bowness community can be restored and assured. The City of Calgary is working closely with Alberta Environment and Protected Areas and Alberta Health Services to restore the water quality concerns. For health-related questions and further information about boil water procedures, please contact HealthLink or call 811 or visit myhealthalberta.ca. I want to let you know that water in other parts of the city are not under a boil water advisory and remain safe to drink. However, because the importance of this water main and the impacts on our ability to deliver water throughout the city, there is an urgent and immediate need for Calgarians to take steps to conserve water. We need your help. We have moved to stage 4 mandatory outdoor water restrictions. What does this mean? All outdoor water use is not allowed or permitted. So this means, at this time, please do not water lawns, gardens, trees, shrubs by any method. Please do not wash down outdoor surfaces, exterior building surfaces, windows, sidewalks, driveways, walkways, for any sort, unless your business requires it for health and safety reasons. Please no washing cars on driveways or streets, no filling of decorative features, fountains. Use for construction purposes is not allowed or permitted for grading, compaction, or dust control. We're also asking everyone immediately to restrict their indoor water use by taking the following actions. Please delay using your dishwasher, washing machines, limit your shower time, keeping baths shallow, turning off humidifiers or ice machines, turning off the tap when they're not immediately in use. Businesses using volumes of non-essential outdoor water use are also restricted. This includes water for construction, exterior window washing, pesticide application, and washing outdoor surfaces, as I've mentioned, except for where health and safety requires it. Businesses using water to deliver products or services that are life-sustaining for people, animals, or plants are exempt. Other exceptions include businesses that must use water to meet health codes and standards. This would include things like hospitals and restaurants. Repair and next steps. Our crews have been working 24/7 since we were alerted to the main break last night. And they will be continuing to do so until the situation is resolved. Currently, we do not have an estimate for how long the voluntary restrictions and the boil water, we do not have an estimate for how long the water reductions will be necessary or the boil water will be in place. Truly, we need everyone's help, and we ask you to be prepared for a potentially extended period of time while we're assessing the situation to get more information to you. Again, really want to thank everyone for your cooperation and your patience as the situation is moving forward to be resolved, and we will be providing you information as soon as it is known. Information is also available at calgary.ca at water outages. Thank you very much for helping us out. Nancy Mackay, I am the Director of Water Services.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Chief Henry and Director Mackay for your work on managing this situation through the night. Along with the city's communication teams, we all appreciate your focus on ensuring that people remain safe and informed in this situation. A very big thank you as well to the fire crews who managed an incredible amount of water flowing in Bowness last night, and much gratitude to the water crews who are working right now to shut down the main and undertake a pretty complex and large repair. Thank you to the Calgary Police Service for their assistance with road closures and traffic management. I know that Calgarians band together when we have a situation as serious as this one. And in this case, our collective focus on conservation of water will be the key to ensuring that everyone's got enough supply for drinking water, for cooking needs, as well as other basic needs. Limiting our water use also means that we have enough supply for any emergencies that may be faced by the Calgary Fire Department. Please stay tuned to the news and to updates on social media and all of the City of Calgary channels to understand what the progress is on this repair. And in the meantime, think about skipping a shower or a bath or a load of dishes or laundry. That's something that you can do inside the home. And please note that with the stage 4 water restrictions that are now in place, there is no outdoor water usage for things like watering your lawn or washing your windows. I want to thank you, Calgary, for doing your part. I realize that this morning's emergency alert was quite jarring, and I appreciate that everyone paid attention to the need to conserve water right now. And to the residents and businesses in both Bowness and Montgomery, please know that the city is working as quickly as we can to ensure that things return to normal for you. We know how disruptive and how scary things were for you when you received this information last night, and our teams have your safety and your families top of mind as they are doing this work. Your well-being is something that we are prioritizing in this situation. Thank you, everyone.
All right, folks, we'll open it up to questions. Question and follow if you want to identify yourself, your outlet, and who you want your question to go to.
Chief Henry, please. Keith McDonald, CTV News. Chief Henry, have there been any damages to any of the businesses along 16th Avenue that you know of?
We are still gathering information. As you can imagine, this is a very dynamic situation, and our first focus has been isolating the leak and making sure that we have the appropriate messaging out. So we're expecting to have some additional information on that later.
How did the season's drought play into how quickly this critical alert had to be called?
The critical alert itself, the decision was made this morning as we were approaching the time when people were getting up and starting to use water and getting ready for work and for their day coming. We were watching the storage facilities overnight, and they weren't recovering as fast as we needed them. We needed citizens to take action this morning. It's irrespective of what's happening in the drought situation. Regardless of that, we still would have had to make the same call this morning.
That would be great. Couple of things. So the break happened, you said Bowness, Montgomery. Is it just Bowness with the boil water, not Montgomery or Tuckville?
It is just Bowness with the boil water.
Said, oh, my water's cloudy or whatever. Is it a problem? Not in Bowness, but other communities?
So it's just Bowness that has the boil water order. We are seeing some communities have lower pressure than normal, but I'll invite Director Mackay if you have anything to add to that.
I think we are seeing pressure variance, and we've had to adjust where we're pumping water because such a large feeder main is down. So we're moving water in a different way in the city to, and with that, some folks are going to experience pressure changes, and that may change as we're investigating and progressing with repairing, so that it will. They may see differences while we go through the repair as well. But it's pressure, really, is what that is. Yeah. If they are, I would ask them to call 311. That would be helpful information, and we can follow up with them. That does happen sometimes, but any information like that and concerns citizens have, they should call 311. That would be great.
My other question has to do with timing of notification last night. Some people have asked, like, why did it take so long to get out messaging on the city, just see exactly what it was.
Yeah, you bet.
Why city had no updates of any kind, including Twitter, for 2.5 hours last night, not even on their water issues website?
So it does take some time, as I mentioned, to realize what's happening, to understand and make sure that we have the right information. So the crews were working as fast as possible to deal with the safety issues that were on scene while we were working to get the communications out. So we always strive to get the communications out as soon as we can, especially when there is any type of public health risk for folks.
Kind of just throwing it out there. I didn't remember. I just want some correction if I'm wrong. I know a few years back we knew that there was going to be more need for the water moving around down there with the rise in population. But there was some lines that were torn out, older ones, and new ones were put in. Was this line one of the older lines, or is this one of the new ones that we've done about 5 or 6 years ago?
We have a robust asset management program taking care of that 5,000 kilometers of pipe that the City of Calgary has that we take care of. And we are always monitoring the age of those pipes, and we do have plans when we maintain them. And I don't have the specifics with me here today about this particular line, but certainly it's something that we're always paying attention to in terms of maintaining that infrastructure that's so critical to public health. So thanks. Water main breaks are a part of delivering water and happen in cities. So certainly it's part of what we do, but this is a large main, and this is an unprecedented large break. Yeah. Our priority right now is getting the crews out there, containing it, and getting at that repair plan. So appreciate the question, and we'll be pulling some information that I know will be coming our way. At the moment, our priority is getting protecting public health in Bowness and working with our colleagues in Alberta Health to establish what we needed to do there, and the crews out there now, and working at our plants as well, because we can only move parts of water into parts of the city in a different way. So that's our focus right now. Appreciate the questions for the future. Please do.
One of the things that I will add to that is this morning's presser is about making sure that Calgarians have the information they need to understand that action is being taken. Really appreciate the questions about the infrastructure and the age and what's going to happen with the repairs. Those are things that we will be updating you on as quickly as we can, but we have dedicated all of our resources right now to making sure Calgarians know that they are in good hands and things are being managed, and that the repair is underway as quickly as possible. So we will get more information out to all of you as quickly as we can put it together.
And just for some historical context, this is certainly the largest I can remember living here on the line. Is this the largest that you guys have had to deal with in terms of the water main break?
Largest that I recall, but I have to check with my colleagues for sure. We do have main breaks every year. This one is the largest I remember, but I certainly be chatting with colleagues about this one for sure. We have main breaks. Quite a few. Certainly, all cities do. Over 170 a year, type of thing. Oh, a feeder main. I will get that for you. I don't have that with me right this moment.
And one last, when you said that we should be patient and expect this to take some time, do you mean that the restrictions for things like showers and dishwashers, should we expect that to last several days?
We are really needing everyone's help to make every drop count, because we are limited in how we are able to move water in and around the city. And so not knowing, we have to find our crews are out there containing the water loss at the moment. They're going to find that leak, which is not always easy when buried under the ground. Water doesn't always come, or the hole in the big pipe isn't exactly where the water bubbles up exactly. So they're really focusing in on where that is, and then the repair. So we just don't have an estimated time. So I want people to really be prepared to do what we need everyone to do their part while we're able to make that repair, so we can make sure that everyone has some of that water for what other purposes.
We should also clarify the difference between the restrictions that are in place and the suggestions that are being made to Calgarians. We are strongly urging people to practice conservation of water inside the home. So things like showers, doing your dishes, that type of thing. The restrictions that are in place, the stage 4 restrictions, apply to outdoor water use, and that's for residents as well as businesses. So there is a little bit of a difference. We are not saying that you can't give your kids a bath. What we are saying is that we would ask you to consider where you might not need to use water indoors, but outside it is stage 4 restrictions.
One last question. I've been on site this morning. It's been pretty much better than last night. So can you give like an estimate on how well the containing measure are going? Like give me a percentage. Yesterday being 100% not good. This morning, what percentage are we?
Again, we're early stages and a really dynamic situation where we're changing how we're pushing water through the city, how we're operating our plants. So I can't give you an estimate right now. We're still in the early stages of estimating and seeing what the situation is. So we're not at the repair yet. We're really containing the situation so we can move to that. What happens when there's a really large pipe? It's full of water, as you can imagine. And so when we shut off a valve on either end of it, that water still has to go somewhere where there's a break. So the water will come out in different places, and we're again shutting down different parts of the systems to contain it. So it's not the usual type of thing that we would see.
Just a quick, just background there. One more question. Where is the feeder line? Because I think just because the pictures it was like Shoallights Park there. Where does that line run? Just out of curiosity.
I don't have a map of that, but we will get you one of those and where it feeds. It is one of our major lines that comes from we have two water treatment plants, Glenmore Water Treatment Plant and Bearspaw, which is our larger plant. That the source of that water comes from the Bow River, and this is the major line from the north to the south from the Bearspaw that runs through Bowness, if that helps.
Is there any potential impact to surrounding communities? And alternatively, if there's a fire, is there potential to reach out to surrounding communities for help with water?
So Calgary does provide water services in the region, and we are in the process of contacting all of those regional partners. We work very collaboratively with them. We generally follow if there's water restrictions for either an emergency or drought, depending on slow-moving emergencies or drought, whereas this is an immediate one. We work very closely together, and we help each other in these situations. So I hope that answers your question.
What caused the break, please? Do you know what caused the break?
We do not have that. Again, at this time, we're really trying to contain the situation and understand what's going on, putting public safety first, followed by ensuring that we're getting baseline water that might be needed for essential services to each of the communities in the city.
And what area was affected by the break, please? Can you just give us that?
Sure. So around Bowness is where we've had the boil water that's been put in place, and we are seeing pressure issues in communities in that surrounding area is what we have so far. If people are experiencing some pressure issues, we do ask them to phone 311. I think that can help us out to understand where the impacts are. So we really appreciate everyone helping with that.
How similar or different, sorry, I don't know who this question is.
Okay.
But how similar or different is the situation to what happened last year just upstream in Cochrane? Are we looking at something similar to that? Is it worse? Is it less bad, worse?
We certainly worked with Cochrane and we're extended our help to them when they had that situation, and it was a break both on a water and a wastewater line in one of their construction areas that created the issue for them. And there were communities with potentially being out of water in that situation. So this is, I don't know the differences in the sizes of pipes specifically to that question, but again, we work together, again, making sure that people have the resources they need. Public safety first is really important. So public health and public safety.
Take a couple more.
How serious would it be? You mentioned the fire ban. If there was a fire, what is the impact right now on the fire services?
That is one of the reasons that we're asking folks to conserve water is we need to ensure that we have the ability to do municipal firefighting. So any actions that you can take for fire prevention are fabulous actions and actions we need people to take. It would be difficult for me to speculate what each type of fire circumstance would look like, and that would be up to the fire chief to answer to those.
But also, would they have the opportunity to lean on community like outside Calgary if necessary? Is that an option?
So Calgary Fire is one of our agency members, and they are downstairs in the Emergency Operations Center, and their teams are working very diligently on all of the different contingency plans that they could use if we did have a major fire or if we did have a draw further down on the water system. So they are actively working on those contingencies as we speak.
Apologies if this is being
So I'll just add something to that very quickly. I did have a conversation with Premier Smith this morning just before 6 a.m. to advise on the situation and to talk about the fact that an alert was going to be issued. Minister Schultz has been in touch with me as well, so the provincial government is well aware of the situation, and I know that they are actively working with us to make sure that any contingencies that might need to be in place are taken care of. So we are working together. The Calgary Emergency Management Agency is working with Alberta's counterparts, so we have pulled together the resources we need in case of anything changing. Thanks.
Is there concerns for the structural integrity of that stretch of 16th Avenue because of the break?
With any main break, when there is a disruption, the roads are on top of many of our mains. We go in and work with our colleagues in the mobility department to ensure that the road's integrity is back in play beforehand. So that safety is paramount as well as we get to the latter stages of a repair.